A new flu has emerged in China. Students are absent from school. Hospitals are fully packed. Chinese residents are saying COVID-19 has changed its name. Twitter is restricted in China. However, the hashtag Twitter crashed has become trending on Chinese social media's search lists, leaving many Chinese in great confusion. The Chinese government just launched a military app in use for ordinary Chinese in time of war. Is Beijing preparing for a war? Ahead of the two sessions, residents in many places in Beijing, Anhui heard several loud noises. Residents believed that the noises were sonic booms caused by Air Force training. A press group has said in its annual report that 2022 marked a year of a heightened Chinese Communist Party (CCP) crackdown on journalism in mainland China. According to NetEase, recently the incidence of Influenza A in China has increased, many hospitals are fully packed, many students are absent from school, and people rush to buy medicine. The general response is the symptoms are more severe than the previous COVID-19 wave. In particular, unlike the symptoms of Influenza A in previous years, white lung and positive PCR results are among the symptoms of this year's infection. Some netizens questioned, perhaps the new COVID-19 strains have been renamed. Influenza A has spread throughout China. Many schools are closed. Zhejiang Province's Center for Disease Prevention and Control, CDC, reported on February 28 that flu has broken out in many Zhejiang schools, mainly H1N1, which was no longer common in this province for the past 3 years. According to Zhejiang Online, since February, the number of children with influenza A at Zhejiang University Children's Hospital has increased remarkably 80 times higher than in January. In Beijing, there are also widespread reports of flu cases. Beijing Daily reported on February 27th, the Beijing CDC reported that seasonal flu in Beijing is on the rise, of which influenza A accounts for 99%. Beijing officials also stated the number of flu cases in Beijing exceeds the number of new COVID-19 infections. In a video on February 24th posted by Twitter user Nuo Minchuan, a man said that during this outbreak, many kindergartens had to close because no children came to class. Symptoms of influenza A this year are very serious. On February 24th, the Twitter account Nuo Michuan posted information saying, regarding the current China's pandemic situation, most of the patient's symptoms are more severe than the previous COVID-19 waves, especially high fever and diarrhea symptoms, and most of the infected are children and the elderly. Hospitals were crowded with children, some had to line up for 4 hours to be examined. The man in the video said his neighbor had a 9-year-old boy who suddenly had fever symptoms. From the moment he got in the car to the hospital and then returned home, he felt so frustrated that he couldn't open his eyes. This man said the hospital's parking lot was too crowded. When arriving at the hospital, you could only hear the children crying. After 4 hours in line, the child finally got diagnosed with influenza A. There were basically no beds left in the hospital. In the end, the doctor just prescribed a bunch of medicine. In such moments, even the adults are helpless. Jimu News also reported that influenza A can also cause white lung and give positive PCR results. Nucleic acid testing could also detect influenza A virus, and other related topics quickly became hot searches. In the face of a raging influenza A pandemic, people panically rushed to buy medicine. Many pharmacies were out of stock of oseltamivir. Some experts remind influenza A patients can take oseltamivir within 48 hours of onset of illness, which can significantly reduce its severity and mortality rate. But oseltamivir is a prescription drug. Patients should follow the doctor's advice instead of self-medicating. Xiwang Zhizhang quoted some netizens' comments as follows: "It feels exactly like COVID-19, the symptoms are even more severe. I survived COVID-19, but I still haven't defeated influenza A. I've been sore and feverish for 2 days." A Shanxi netizen said, "The coronavirus just passed. Influenza A appeared just a month after the Lunar New Year. Currently, it is not known how many children have been hospitalized, making parents extremely worried. The influenza A wave is even worse than the previous COVID-19. The children's fever won't go away. Taking ibuprofen only makes them sweat." A Hebei netizen said, "Once again, the influenza A made me suffer like the previous coronavirus. I survived fevers, colds, and aches all over my body. I thought I would get better, but I had a constant headache and cough instead. The headache made my head feel like it was exploding. I coughed so much that my heart was about to burst. Suffering countless uncomfortable nights, no matter how uncomfortable, you have to grind your teeth to endure." Netizen named Mars revealed, "Basically the whole country has it. Yesterday I went to a hospital's emergency department to have my sutures removed and found a lot of children with fevers." Hospitals in many places are full of people who suspect influenza A or COVID-19. On February 27th, Twitter account Nuo posted other videos saying Chinese hospitals are still crowded with patients and clinics are once again full. A video shows on February 26th, the waiting room of the #1 hospital of China Medical University in Shenyang, Liaoning, was fully packed. On the same day, in the corridor of the Shenyang hospital, many people were lying on the floor. On February 25th, at Lijiat Square in Daqing City, Heilongjiang Province, many people were receiving IV fluids. Another video shows an Influenza A outbreak in Liaoyuan City, Jilin Province, and hospital beds full of sick children. Regarding this, a netizen expressed doubts. I believe the CCP uses the trick win in the chaos or going from victory to victory. There is no crisis, they will create a crisis because stability, safety, and peace are not suitable for the CCP. Twitter user Chow suspected Influenza A to be the new name of COVID-19, commenting, perhaps the new variant of COVID-19 virus has changed its name. My family in Xiamen said Influenza A is currently a pandemic. There are 20 to 30 people in my grandson's class taking sick leave due to the flu. Many others said, this virus coexists in the human body for a long time, multiplies with low frequency, and is extremely hidden, just waiting for the body to have a weak immunity to return. Influenza A has the effect of promoting a new COVID-19 variant. This Influenza A pandemic may not be normal. Someone replied, it is possible that the COVID-19 pandemic is now renamed to Influenza A. Is this a resurgence of the COVID-19 pandemic? As reported by Vision Times, after the Twitter crash topic caused controversy, the Chinese network administrator quickly took action and blocked all related messages. At 8 p.m. on March 1st, a Chinese netizen reposted a post on the Korean forum The Q on Weibo. Twitter crashed, an hour and a half has passed. The news immediately attracted lively discussion. Vision Times quoted some comments as follows. What is Twitter? Why can't we use it? Scare me? We are not allowed to use it. Why is it on the hot search list? What kind of thing is it? Something that no one uses has collapsed. We can't use it. When will Weibo collapse? As of 9:20 p.m. on March 1st, the Twitter crash topic has attracted more than 600,000 views. However, the Chinese network management was quick to act. Within 40 minutes, the controversial topic had slipped from the 8th position to 21st on the hot search list, and related discussions were blocked. So far, no Chinese media has reported on the matter. Twitter is restricted in China, North Korea, Russia, and other countries. It has tried to enter the Chinese market, but Beijing requires it to accept close supervision. Because it has refused to compromise, Twitter has yet to enter this lucrative market officially. Jack Dorsey, the Twitter co-founder who stepped down as CEO at the end of 2021, reposted a report by China-based CNN reporter Selena Wang last year. Wang mentioned Beijing's pandemic prevention policy and used different color codes to control people's travel strictly. It also stated, end the CCP. China is currently one of the strictest countries in the world to implement an internet blockade. The Golden Shield Project and the Great Firewall, established by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, will automatically filter out sensitive words and related information on the Chinese internet. Harvard University's Berkman-Klein Center for Internet and Society published a study in late 2015 claiming that the academic community had conducted the first systemic study of Chinese users using Twitter. Despite the CCP's strict internet control, many scholars, human rights activists, and journalists in China continue using Twitter to contact other parts of the world and discuss banned topics in China, such as the June 4th Tiananmen massacre, domestic political scandals, pollution, etc. According to a study published in the U.S., proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences since the first COVID outbreak in Wuhan in 2020, the number of Twitter users has increased significantly. As the technology website TechCrunch reported, internal sources from Twitter have confirmed that China's users are close to 10 million. According to Chinese media Xinhua, on March 1st, Xiamen City, China, launched a mobile app, Civil Air Defense Guide, which integrated the location information of thousands of air defense shelters in Xiamen and broadcast real-time information in wartime to assist people in an evacuation. At a time when the Taiwan Strait situation is tense, the launch of this app once again raises suspicions that the CCP is about to invade Taiwan by force. As reported by Xiamen Daily, the Civil Air Defense Guide platform is integrated into the iXiamen app, and anyone who logs into the iXiamen app can access the platform. The Civil Air Defense Guide includes 4 functions: Civil Air Defense Map, Early Warning Notification, Live On-Site Reporting, Civil Air Defense Education. It can navigate people to the nearest air defense shelter. You can also use its satellite map to check surrounding buildings, population distribution, and congested situations. Just search on the map to see the 5 shelters closest to you and all the temporary shelters in Xiamen. Currently, the platform can provide residents with guidance and navigation services for the air defense shelters, including 859 emergency shelters and 861 utility service locations. According to the report, the app launch is to effectively solve the personnel evacuation problem in wartime defense against enemy air raids and prevent major disasters in peacetime, and create favorable conditions for people to quickly reach air defense shelters and emergency shelters. Currently, many air defense shelters in Xiamen are used for commercial purposes. Xiaowang Shishang cited several Chinese netizens' comments. Some netizens doubted, "So are we going to fight or not? The enemy can also use this platform for wartime analysis." A person who doesn't even dare to push a window, saying he will flip the roof, can you believe it? It means Beijing doesn't dare to attack Taiwan, but constantly threatens. A person calmly said, "The Civil Air Defense Project is one of the national defense projects and public welfare construction. This news focuses on the digitization application in this field, so there is no need for further explanation." From March 4th to March 5th, the National People's Congress of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and the two sessions of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference was held. In the early morning of March 3rd, residents in many places in Bozhou, Anhui, heard several loud noises. The residents believed that the noises were sonic booms caused by Air Force training. Authorities confirmed that no natural disasters happened at that time. According to several Chinese media reports, on the morning of March 5th, the staff of the Bozhou City Emergency Management Bureau said that there was no thunder or early warning of an earthquake. They will further investigate whether the noise was an airplane's sonic boom. Strange, loud booming sounds have been heard from time to time in the area, but authorities would never disclose if they were due to Air Force training. One video, which was taken at 2:23 a.m. on March 3rd, showed that the loud noise caused the house to shake. The dog was also frightened and ran away. One Weibo user from Anhui commented on the incident. After the loud noise, the sound of fighter jets was very clear until dawn, which was from the night training of the Air Force. After the news broke out, Weibo also started to filter some comments. A press group has said in its annual report that 2022 marked a year of a heightened Chinese Communist Party (CCP) crackdown on journalism in mainland China. The report, released on March 1st by the Foreign Correspondent Clubs of China, FCCC, was based on 102 of 166 correspondent members who worked for news outlets in 30 countries and regions. The survey found that 45% of foreign reporters confirmed their Chinese colleagues underwent harassment by the authorities at least once last year. It was a 40% increase from 2021. 38% of respondents said Chinese coordinating with them were harassed, arrested, summoned by the police, or suffered other consequences. In 2021, that proportion stayed at a quarter. When China's zero COVID policies were in place, commuting was mainly determined by the CCP's health code system, supposedly based on COVID transmission risks in the area. 47% of the foreign journalists said they were stopped from traveling at some point due to problems with their health code. However, those who were stopped by Chinese officials, regardless of their health status, amounted to 49%. In addition, 31% that they had to cancel their trips or interviews after facing pressure from the CCP. Beijing tightly clamped down during special political events such as the Winter Olympics in February and a momentous Communist Party Congress in October. Also, 36% of those who followed the party Congress said that they were denied entry to any of the events for which they applied. During the White Paper movement last November, BBC journalist Ed Lawrence was reportedly beaten and arrested in Shanghai. But as the country reopens, FCCC noted, a bevy of state restrictions, ongoing digital surveillance, and the continued harassment of Chinese colleagues and sources means existing challenges to true freedom of the press in China remain. This January, a CNN reporter crew was tailed by CCP minders when they tried to investigate COVID situations in rural China. Then, while the camera was still rolling, a police officer brazenly interrupted an interview by respondent Selena Wang with a citizen. FCCC said, China continues to be one of the most important stories of our time, yet since the start of the global pandemic in 2020, press freedoms across the country have declined at an accelerated pace, and it remains to be seen if they will recover.